And good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
February 1st, the shortest month of the year has arrived. It is not leap year, so we got 28 days.
Yeah. So if your birthday's on the 29th.
You just took 4 years off your life.
Yeah.
So deer season is finally over. Another one for the books. And I'm really kind of thankful now.
I'm glad. We got so much stuff that we need to get done around the house, so I'm glad.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
You just feel compelled that you got to go instead of doing that stuff at the house.
Kurt was making a list last night of everything that we have got to do. And it's like, he has a little book. He was categorizing stuff, you know. And, But yeah, we've got many things.
Yeah, we're not that organized. We just kind of do it by the seat of our pants around here. So that's what we got. Also, don't forget that you've got until high noon today to get your deer entered and the Battle of the Bucks at Jay's Taxidermy Equipment. If you want it in, you got to be there by high noon to get it in. And let's go ahead and do, this is our final drawing that we've got for the Battle of the Bucks. This is from Bud Light, and from the Battle of the Bucks, $100. And who do we have today?
Daniel Calvert.
Well, congratulations, Daniel.
Yeah.
You are the winner.
Congratulations.
Get in touch with Jay's Taxidermy, and they'll get you your money, and you'll be all set up. Cool.
There you go.
Congratulations to you. Let's see, as we begin today, there's a lot of things that are happening. It is February, some things in our state that we'll talk about. We'll talk about Kanye getting sued here in just a little bit. Also, let's see, homeless take over a hotel. I mean, what is the world coming to?
Yeah.
We'll get into that. And then also Twitter, this is taking things to a new level of Twitter suspending another account of someone, but this time it's a Christian group.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into that here in just a few moments.
By stating the obvious.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
So that's coming up this morning. On a local level, let's talk about a few things that are happening in the Mississippi area. Let's see here. I want to point this out. Of course, we've got 40 degrees this morning. Let me check our latest temperature of what we've got. Go over here. It takes me a second to turn on all these little bells and whistles, what we've got. We're sitting at 40 still in Meridian, wind chill at 32 still. So that's chilly.
It is cool out there. I mean, really, really cold.
Yeah. Good morning, Sandy White. What are you doing, girl?
How are you, Sandy?
Hope she's
you doing
behaving
good?
today.
Yeah.
But as we watch this, you know, there's a big snowstorm. And I had more pictures of this, and I just couldn't get them to email correctly. But pictures from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I showed these earlier this morning. And let me do it that way. That's our front yard. There was a little mist there. And as you go through daylight, there's more of it. But that was outside Murfreesboro. And the further up the East Coast you go, the thicker the snow is. So it's pretty thick.
I wish we'd get some more snow. I enjoyed it that day we had snow.
It was fun,
I
wasn't
know. And it happened to be a day I was off work, you know, in town. So, yeah, we got out and played in it and stuff before he had to go to school, you know. But it was pretty.
I didn't even build a snowman. It melted. By the time I got through up here and got ready to go outside and play, it was all but over.
Ours stayed for days. In the backyard, because we had rolled it so far across the yard that it just was insulated. I don't know, or something. It was packed, but it looked like a big tire when we finally got it across the yard.
Apparently, Sandy is getting tested. I assume that's for COVID. I
guess.
She says it's 39 in downtown Philadelphia. Y'all keep that in mind, because that wind is 25 mile an hour gust out there. And if you think this is cold, wait till tonight when we hit 28.
Oh, yeah.
With 25 mile an hour winds.
Sandy, if you're getting tested, I'm say a prayer for you. I'm sure you if you work in the medical field, you've probably been tested before. I don't know. And maybe that's what, you know.
You have to do it before you go to work.
I guess. I don't know. But that test is not pleasant.
Is it easier on you the bigger your nostril?
I don't know.
I'm just curious. Like, you got
I don't know
about
about that, but like just when you think they can't push that swab any further, they do.
Here it comes.
So,
all right. Good morning, Linda Jane, all the way from Scuba, Mississippi, out in the Giles community. A lot of folks there.
Yes.
Let's see, and also, and she has to get tested every week. I guess that's the way it works in medical.
I figured the medical field people would have to get tested pretty often.
I didn't know it was that often, though, but...
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, though, just so you know. And a lot of them I've talked to are getting the vaccine, and
Yeah.
So, Sandy, once you get the vaccine, do you still have to get tested every week?
I would say, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go out on a limb on
Okay.
that. But
I was wondering
we'll
about
see
that.
what she says on that.
Okay.
And we'll also tell you about a star that says she ain't getting it. It don't matter what they do. She's not taking the shot. We'll tell you who that is coming up this morning also. Let's see here. As we begin today, let's see here. She said you can't enter the building until you do it.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and I assume that's probably all hospitals. Mm-hmm. So, wow.
Yeah.
It was back on this date in 1861 when a group of old boys met and they said, we're not taking it anymore, and we are leaving the Union. 1861, Texas succeeded, followed by Mississippi and 8 other states that joined them pretty quick there.
That might be didn't you say history repeats itself?
Yeah. And of course, there was some talk of that in the beginning, and even one of the Mississippi senators suggested that, and he was kind of beat down real quick about mumbling that. I won't even bring his name back up to keep that out of the headlines where people. He caught heck on the internet.
You get to a point
where you
kind
go,
of feel like you can't take it anymore. You got to have another option. So,
and if you'll read the Constitution, it was written that way. There were several things. One of my heroes was born on this date, and who doesn't like this man? He was it on a stick back in the day.
Did you see Gone with the Wind?
Many, many times.
I love Gone with the Wind.
And of
when
course,
she wears those curtains.
Yeah. Actually. And then, one of his opening lines when you got introduced to Rhett was, has the war already begun? When he was asleep on the couch and she was trying to throw herself at Ashley. And he was telling her he was going to marry Melanie. And that's where it all began. But, boy, what a guy, what a character. They could not have picked a better person to have played that part.
I know. He was a good actor.
And I was in his home. You would never, in a million years, think that he was not a true Southerner. He was born in Ohio. I had a chance. They got a big monument with his name out there at the courthouse square where he was born.
Okay.
Beautiful place. Who didn't like Dr. Hook? When you're in love with a beautiful woman, the lead singer of Dr. Hook was born on this day.
I know that song. I mean, I used to listen to that all the time. All those.
Do you remember?
Songs.
Got a couple more years on you, babe. That's all.
If I heard it, it would. I mean, I'm sure I did. But like that, In Love with a Beautiful Woman. Yeah.
Cow Creek's Britt Gully does a great version of A Couple More Years. You ever get to see Britt in concert, make sure to ask for that song. Now, this is one of the things. Candace is always humming this song when she comes in. This is one of her favorites. She just loved this guy. Let's go back to 1948. Rick James is born.
Now, who didn't go to the skating rink and skate to She's a Super Freak?
Now, if you really want some entertainment today, look that up on YouTube and just chuckle. You can sit in your car and chuckle. Nobody know what you're doing. But boy,
if y'all see me in the car doing it, I might be
Super
listening to
Freak.
Super Freak.
Hard to believe that that was 1981 that song was out.
Gosh.
Wow. This was a real big change in 1949. It revolutionized what happened in America. Honky tonks became popular because they invented the 45 single, which put the jukebox in business. Can you imagine?
I might have played Super Freak on the jukebox once or twice and danced to it. I don't know.
I guess it's all jukeboxes now are all digital downloads instead of CDs. I remember one time a few years ago seeing one that worked off CDs, but I think they're all like MP3s now. I
don't know. I know that I think the last one that I saw, they had it that faraway places. You know, that little place it's like you can eat there, but they had a little bar there or whatever. But they have a jukebox in there that you mash the button and it flips the little things, you know. So, but yeah, it's neat.
We got I'll let you read what William Beckham told us this morning, how cold it was there in Conahatta.
I mean, oh my goodness. He milked his cow and he got a half gallon of ice cream.
There you go. It's cold in Conahatta this morning. Good morning, Linda Culpepper. Hope your day is going well and hope you have a blessed day also. Carolyn Knight checking in from 12th Street, Scuba, Mississippi. Salute. Population, 453? I think it dropped from 455 after me and Angie left.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's somewhere around in there. And a good morning to Tiffany Crawford. She loves Super Freak.
She said to watch the YouTube videos for a giggle.
It is a giggle.
I bet. Watching a lot of these old videos, I would imagine, would be funny. you know,
Oh,
to see.
I tore into some old stuff last night. I got hung up on some John Anderson. Would you catch a falling star? I was going way back
What
watching
about
stuff.
Just a Swinging?
Oh, that was good.
Well, I had the Just a Swinging T-shirt.
Oh,
He
did
had
you?
you remember the T-shirt where
Yeah.
he's sitting on the porch swing?
Yeah.
Got his arm up? Yeah, I had the T-shirt.
The first time I ever got to watch John Anderson was he done a concert at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena. And it was flooding that day. And I remember people falling in the mud, and they had a little stage set out for John out in the arena. And I met him later that night. It was part of the Jimmy Rogers Festival. Met him. What a nice guy. Bumped into him so many times in Nashville. He stayed at a couple of hotels we did at the awards. And, you know, interestingly enough, when John moved to Nashville, he didn't have a job. He was trying to make it. And this was before An Old Chunk of Coal come out. And if you've ever seen the country music Opryland, where the Opryland Hotel and where the Opry House was there,
Yes.
where it is now, he helped build the roof on that. He was a
Okay.
contractor during the
Where
day.
the Opry House, like
is
over
now.
by it now.
Yeah, the
by
new
the
one.
hotel. Yeah.
But he
I've
helped
been
put
to
the
the
roof
old one
on
and
that.
the new one. Yeah.
Of course,
Okay.
it's pretty cool to go downtown to the original one. That
It is. I mean, I was so glad I got to go that time that I got to go. Like I said, I got to stand out there, walk out there on the stage where they have the piece cut out from the
original one.
Yeah. Well, on the new one, I got to see where they had the piece cut out from the old one, and then I got to go to the original one and see the dressing rooms that the stars got dressed in. It was really neat. We got to take a tour of it. It was real nice.
And I don't know what Nashville is doing with it. I know that the Opry is still continuing, and I just don't know how many people they're letting in right now. But if you ever have a chance and this stuff breaks, go to that, because it is truly history. It is so cool
And it just feels like you're like a
part of it.
A part of it, because it's just like their family up there on stage.
It
you
is.
know, the way I don't know. It's real neat.
It makes you want to go get a jacket and dress like Porter, doesn't it?
And and show the inside of his jacket.
Oh, Porter, he had it going, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Also on this date, Buck Owens had the #1 song in 1964 with Love's Gonna Live Here Again. Of course, I think we've all heard that 2 million times on the radio. As we moved forward, on the other side of the radio, there's people that really love the Beatles. They were #1 on this date in 1964 with
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like
I'm not
that.
going to sing it.
But I was not a Beatles fan. There's so many people that love that, but it was not my thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was a big fan of the Beatles, but I did listen to some of their music and stuff, you know.
But you can turn on Elvis, and then
If
you
it was
turn
on
on
the
that,
radio.
and you go,
Yeah. If it was on the radio, I didn't like purposely pick the Beatles and put it in to listen to it. No.
But there's some folks that really ate that up,
Yeah,
that
they
were
did.
into all of that. The world would change forever with this announcement, because, boy, how history went down with this is, on this date in '68, Nixon announced he would run for president. And, of course, he did win in the end, and strong. He won a second term there, very strong. It wasn't until Watergate that we all had issues every night and couldn't watch TV anymore.
You know, I saw a documentary the other night about him, and I thought it was so odd that, like, he and his wife didn't even sleep in the same room, didn't sleep in the same bed.
Most
It's
of
really
those
weird.
that are president, do you think Bill and Hillary slept together?
Well,
I don't
now
think
he's too busy sleeping with everybody else.
he was a busy man.
Yeah.
And probably JFK did not, because, you know, he had all the secret corridors where
Yeah.
people didn't report what really went on back then. But I'm not sure that maybe George Bush did, but it's very few that have ever stayed in the same room.
Well, it was a documentary on the different presidents, and it was neat to watch, because there was a lot of stuff that I never even had heard of, you know. So if you could get a chance to go back and watch something like that, watch it.
But if you want to laugh, what was the one that had James Garner and the guy that was in the movie Grumpy Old Men, where they done the movie about the presidents, where they were both ex-presidents? And
I didn't
was,
see that.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
funny!
I didn't see that.
James Garner was so good.
Yeah, I like him.
Hail to the Chief, maybe.
Okay.
Somebody
I
look
need
that
to
up.
go back and watch that.
Good stuff. A sad day in history. 74, Ted Bundy killed again on this date, and one of our first big serial killers that they tracked down.
That is
and
a
finally.
scary thing. Like, he just seemed like a everyday.
He did. And he didn't look odd. You know, he kind of blended in as a normal guy.
That's scary to me. I mean, the people who you think are normal, I mean, even people that he lived with didn't even know what he.
I know.
You know, it's crazy.
Let's see. Other things. It was 1978 that Harriet Tubman got her postage stamp. Be looking for that on a $20 bill coming near you pretty quick like. That's on the way. 78, she did that. Now, I love this song. Candace doesn't seem to remember it.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts, and I kept thinking she was at first when she come out. I was thinking, when did that actress start singing? Wasn't her, but she had a song called "Breakdown Hill," "Breakdown Here," mile marker number 28, where she's about to run out of gas and she's trying to get home to her parents. And
I need to listen to it because I don't remember it, and I might have heard it and just don't recognize the.
It was really top-notch country music, and to my knowledge, that was really her only hit.
And when was that?
Let me see here. Did I put that?
79.
That's when she was born. It was 04 that she had the song.
I was like 79. She don't look like she's back in the 70s. Yeah. Okay. 04.
And this, what was the nickname for this guy, Kenny Rogers? Because women ate him up back in the day. They thought he was it. He was like their poster child for country music at the time. He'd wear the button-downs with his old hairy chest and gold chains hanging out.
What was the nickname for
Yeah,
him?
didn't it? You know, because Charlie Rich had the Silver Fox. I thought Kenny had a name.
I don't know.
Was it Boom Boom or something like that?
Oh, I ain't never heard of Boom Boom. I don't know.
But he had the
Kenny Rogers is all I need.
The #1 album in 1980.
Coward of the County.
Yeah, You Decorated My Life.
And then he had The Gambler, didn't he?
Yeah, and that started the string of movies that really took Kenny to that next level.
I liked Kenny Rogers, though. Listen, he was kind of, had a lot of plastic surgery there in the end.
He did.
He did. Sometimes I just wish these people would grow old gracefully instead of trying to get all that stuff done.
Good morning to Charlene Etheridge. Hope you're doing good today.
Good morning, Charlene.
And also good morning to Joyce. She's doing good in Nashville this morning. You're right, and we'll show somebody in a minute that was very hot when they were young, and what they look like now. They're complaining, and we'll share their picture here in just a little bit. You do the judge of are they right, wrong?
I don't know that she had any surgery done.
It doesn't look it.
Yeah, but still, to me, you should. I don't know. Some people get the stuff done to them, and they look pretty.
Yeah.
And some look surprised all the time.
Like their smile never goes away.
And some look like they've had an allergic reaction.
Correct.
So you never know. It's kind of like you never know what you're going to get.
You don't. Now, of course, y'all, I think most people who know me know that I didn't listen to rock and roll all that much. But no matter where you went, you had to have heard this song. If you went into like the Gap or anywhere in the mall, this was going to be played. Blondie was #1 in 1980 with Call Me.
Yes.
And
I remember that song too.
Does it really? That's been 40 years ago.
This is one of those songs, though, that you can turn on the radio and just blare it going down the road just when you're in the car by yourself.
I can see you doing it.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, did you ever watch Soul Train?
I did. I watched Soul Train every day back in the day. Yeah.
Don Cornelius, the guy that was the host of it from 71 until 93, committed suicide on this day. I didn't realize that.
I did not know he had committed suicide. That's so sad.
Shot himself.
But can you not, that like his voice, that real deep voice, like, welcome to Soul Train.
Soul Train. I can't say it the way they did.
Yeah.
But that was a big show. I brought this up because it was actually yesterday that the cops, or a 911 call was placed, and they go there and they find Randy Travis buck naked
in 2013. Yesterday, yeah. I didn't realize that either. I guess I'm just in the dark about all the stuff.
He was going. He was on some substance abuse at the time. That was when his wife had left him, and this was before the stroke. And you could have used the pictures from the actual arresting, but it was all blurred out. But Randy was like, he'd had nothing on but a smile. It was like a streak.
I didn't realize his wife had left him, and I thought the lady that he's with now has always been his wife because I had seen him, a while back. And
so you don't know the story. You take Randy Travis. He's this young guy. He comes to Nashville. This lady is like a promoter. She's old. She goes, you look hot there. She takes him in. And she hooks up, becomes his manager, becomes his wife, and she tells Randy where to go. Now, she did a lot for Randy because Randy had been in trouble as a teenager with the law constantly. Had a broken home and just was in trouble. So she was kind of like really a mother to him instead of a wife, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I think he started doing some things that she didn't agree with, and she ended the marriage, and Randy couldn't handle it. So he's got a young lady now that God bless her, I don't remember her name, that is taking care of him. And he is better.
Yeah. It's just so sad, though, to see, you know, how he was and how he is now. It's just sad.
He can talk a little bit now. There for a while, he couldn't even say anything.
Yeah, I've heard him when they would have him sing a few verses and stuff like that. He could sing a little bit, but it's sad to see somebody have something like that happen in their life, and it just alters their whole.
I was at a red light. Me and Debbie were, I forget what we were doing. We were at a red light in Nashville, and we look over there, and Randy Travis is sitting next to us, and Debbie rolled down the window. We talked to Randy at the red light all the way through. Super nice guy.
Yeah. I remember his song, Digging Up Bones, because I remember we were on our way back from a ball game one time, and we had cheered, and we were riding back, and we were all singing the Digging Up Bones. Is it like in junior high school or something? But yeah. I was a big Randy Travis fan back then.
And who couldn't remember 1982? Of course, that was the song that just really. Good morning to Dean Baskin this morning. We appreciate you watching this morning and being a part of it with us as we get this day started. So, do you watch Netflix a whole lot? I don't,
because it's a lot of stuff you have to go through to get it on the TV, and I don't even mess with that.
So, have you ever heard of House of Cards?
Yes, a lot of people that I know have watched it, and they say it's great.
Now, I watched 2 or 3 seasons, and I'm telling you, it was really great. And then it got to a point to where it crossed a line of what my beliefs were, and that drew a line for me that goes, I'm not going to support a show that goes there. And it had some beliefs that I didn't, so I turned it off, and I never watched the end of it.
Kevin Spacey is just a weird guy. Anyway,
they had to write him out because of all the he'd sexually harassed men.
Oh, yeah.
And they took him off the show.
He seems odd, anyway. In anything that he's played, I wouldn't.
He has done some strange things, but the show, they made his wife that was on there the president when they got rid of him. So something to think on there. Let's take a minute and go to Collinsville, Mississippi. That's where you'll find the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville with Joe. And, of course, specials this week. These are good through today's Monday through tomorrow night at closing. Okay. You can get those yellow onions for $1.39 a pound. You can get the navel oranges, the 4-pound bag, $3.99. Also, the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, you get those fresh green bell peppers.
Yes.
89 cents. Also, the chicken noodle, you can get that, cream of mushroom for $1.39. Maybe you need some barbecue sauce. You can, and you have to really stock up on this. You need 2 or 3. Don't go in and get one because you're going to run out and get that last drop.
Right.
And then what do?
I have to keep it in stock at home usually because my older son loves it on everything.
Ooh, barbecue sauce is wonderful.
Yeah.
And, of course, you can get the tomato ketchup there, Piggly Wiggly brand, $2.49 for that squeeze. Sugar, 4-pound bag, $2.29. Saltine crackers, only 89 cents for the next time you have chili or soup.
Look, I used saltine crackers yesterday. Usually I use Ritz crackers, but anyway, I had made a homemade macaroni and cheese, and I took and made a crust for the top of it. And I crushed up crackers.
I ain't never heard of this.
It was good. I crushed up saltine crackers, like real fine, like almost like breadcrumbs. Sprinkled them over the top, put a little bit of garlic powder in it, and then melted butter all over the top of it, and it made a brown crust on top of the macaroni.
Has anybody ever heard of this?
So good. I need to try
You got a picture to prove this?
No, I didn't take a picture, but it was so good. It was good.
Crackers is well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Also, you can get those Oscar Mayer wieners, hot dogs, $3.29 for those. Those are the best there. Bryan sliced bacon, 12 ounces for $3.29. Of course, you can get the rump roast. You can get, of course, sirloin tip roast. Coca-Cola products, 3 for $12 for the 6-pack. You can get the drinking water, the purified, 3 for $10. As you go through that, we're all at the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Joe will help you out and save you some money and get you back on your way there. Tuesday, now this is Monday, February 1st. We got this short month. What big? President's Day. This is, it was around the 17th or 18th?
Yeah, it's not. My son was thinking it was today, the other day. He was like, I ain't got to go to school Monday. We got free. And I said, that's not President's Day. So I'm thinking it is closer to the middle of the month.
It's 20th, somewhere in 22nd, somewhere along. I'll have to look that up. But you do get a holiday, so something to look forward to in February of getting a day off. We go to our next story, and this is sad. This is here in the state of Mississippi. A toddler was killed over the weekend. This took place near Hattiesburg. A 4-year-old accidentally killed a 2-year-old with a gun. They hadn't really got all this going on. U.S. News is reporting that.
Goodness, that's awful. Yeah, I don't understand why people don't put guns up.
Yeah, if you're going to have one, put it away.
Right, and I don't know. It always scares me, having guns around and stuff, but at least have them unloaded.
Correct.
If you got them sitting around. And you
Mississippi is going, whoa, hold on a minute. We're not so sure about all of this because this is something that started, I think, the New York Times started this. And it started spreading to schools. How? I don't know all the history of this thing. But Joe Biden, one of his first strokes of the pen, got rid of the 1776 committee that was making sure that America knew what history was. But Mississippi is introducing a bill that says if a school teaches the 1619 project, they will lose 25% of their funding. Now, it's rewriting history is what it really does. And again, I don't know all the details, so I can't go off on the deep end and tell you all that. I'd have to sit down and reread all this stuff again. But Mississippi is standing up.
Good.
One of the very few states that has.
I mean,
we'll see if it
our
passes.
history needs to be protected. I don't care if you liked it or you didn't like it. It is what it is. Move on.
Yeah, they're trying to say July 4th, 1776 is not the real date. It was 1775.
Okay.
That's not really what happened. As we go to, a Mississippi man has died in an accident by being hit by a car. From what I understand, he was walking along the highway in Monroe County, and he was struck and killed. Horrible.
That is horrible.
I want to say there was another report of another incident like that in a town. Sad stuff there. Now, I'm going to let you handle this because you see this on social media. Me and you were talking about this.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people who have gotten the vaccine, they'll, oh, I got mine today, and, post a picture of their card, and they're saying, do not do this.
Yeah, because it has your birth date, your name, and all this information. Then you take that information and you go to your Facebook page and get the rest of your information that's readily available to the public, and they can steal your identity, ruin your credit, so don't do it.
Yes.
There's other ways to do that.
And if it has your patient number, medical record, I mean, they can pull all that stuff up probably.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Good morning
That's
to
as bad as putting your Social Security card.
Tammy
picture or
Roberts, who
something.
moved away from Meridian and ran off to Tennessee, says good morning. She's up there working hard at it.
Good morning.
Oh.
Kellyanne Burnham says crackers, on green bean casserole for those that don't like the dried onions. I hadn't done it on green bean casserole, but I bet it's good though. I usually use Ritz crackers just because they're already kind of buttery tasting, and I usually use those like on top of a squash casserole.
Okay, who goes to a restaurant and they have them little captain's wafers there and you eat 25 of those before your steak gets there and you're full then?
I know. I love
Captain wafers.
Look, when you got a kid, when you got a baby that's like, or a toddler or whatever, those are like, I was feeding those to my kid the whole time just to keep them satisfied.
Scott brought this up, and I had forgotten about it. And, of course, Bill Murray made it famous. Groundhog Day happens in February.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know the date, but that's coming up.
I think we're going to have an early spring. I don't know.
It sure indicates it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of stuff, I have azaleas blooming in my flower beds. I guess because when the weather starts heating up a little bit, it kind of tricks them into thinking, So, yeah, I do.
So, do they still have, Atlanta had their own groundhog.
Really?
Is Colonel, what was his name? Beauregard, maybe?
Okay, I don't know. They usually have a name for him. Wait,
Hoxatoni Field is the other one.
that's what I was going to say.
But he's the
field
famous
guy.
one. It's on the, Kellyanne says it's the second. So that would be.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Groundhog Day is tomorrow. Linda Peavy House.
Okay, well, we'll have to watch and see if he sees his shadow.
Boy, that snuck up on me.
If he sees his shadow, that's how many more weeks?
6 more weeks.
6 more weeks of winter?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he doesn't, then spring is coming 6 weeks early.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, y'all tell me.
Yeah.
It's when I was out of radio, I really, for 10 years there, I really did not pay attention to what went on. I was in this little world, I guess, sort of miserable. It just wasn't my forte.
Yeah.
But I missed out on a lot of things, and Groundhog Day was one of those. Where I was at,
You ever seen
Groundhog
the
Day
movie
did not-
Groundhog Day,
Yeah.
though?
Oh my gosh.
Where he's trying to kill the groundhog. He's messing up the golf course. Yeah.
Okay, is it true that we're supposed to see heavy snow next Monday? I have not seen that yet, but I will look into that immediately. See if the forecast models. I have not seen anything that brought that up.
I hope so.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, unless I'm having to get out in it and like drive. I don't like to get out. Now I do like to get out in it and drive and look around, but like having to go long distances. And
Now, four-wheelers are great for that.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a pasture.
Have you ever like put your kids in something, tied it to the back of the four-wheeler and
Oh, a
rode them all
hood.
around?
A hood is you take the hood off an old vehicle, turn it upside down, and then take you a spool. You know those cables that they put wire on. Screw that to your hood, and then you got a place to wrap your legs around and hold on.
Or if you really want to get redneck, you can take an old plastic bed liner out of a truck,
I didn't think about that.
bake some holes with some big ropes, and tie it to the back. You can fit a bunch of people in that, but be careful going around the curves because you will sling a child out.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
Candace may have come up with the perfect idea.
It is. I'm telling you. And
So-
it's also a good like haul off a bunch of. We use one at the house. I know the neighbors probably think we're the biggest rednecks.
What do y'all do?
We like when we cut all the shrubs and everything. We rake it all into that old bed liner and haul it off down to the burn
Somebody
pile.
else might call you a redneck, but I would call that ingenuity. Is what I would call, because that's pretty doggone smart.
I'm telling you, it's the best. It works
Because
really good.
instead of having to pick it up and throw it in a pickup bed, you got it there on the ground. And you just go directly.
and it's
into it.
not so heavy that you can't pick it up and dump it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're
Pull
right.
it over and dump it. So yeah, works
Well,
pretty well.
Candace has come up with a redneck invention for us this morning. That's
goodness.
pretty good. All right, let's see here what else we got going on today. Let me go back over here and hit the right. I got so many things open and pulled open, and I didn't do that right. All right. Okay, we got the vaccination card. As we move Trump, and I'm sure you've heard this by now, he's parted ways with his 5 attorneys that were going to represent him. They announced this morning that they do have 2 more already lined up to handle this situation that's coming up. So
Okay.
that's all handled now, just in the big
When
news.
are they supposed to have the actual?
It's this month.
Okay. Such a waste.
I think within 2 weeks
It's,
of taxpayer money.
It is. I mean, just like you might as well just set it on fire right there and burn it.
But again, this is all about trying to hurt him where he won't have a chance in 24.
Yeah.
All there is to it. We all know that.
Yeah.
So
It is.
we'll see. Now, this is the celebrity we said that she says she's not taking the COVID shot, and it's Olivia Newton-John. Now, and I didn't realize that her daughter, God bless her, she can hardly find dresses that fit her, because I tried to find a picture of her, and they were all that way.
Yeah. It was painted on.
They were all busting out of it. And I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
That's a big one. But her daughter is some like nature enthusiast, and she does the herbs and sells things like that. She has a store. And so I'm sure that had an influence on Olivia Newton-John. She's not taking it, she says.
Yeah.
But Olivia still looks great. And,
She
as you
does.
pointed out, she'd been through breast cancer not too long
Yeah.
ago.
She had, and for some reason I thought it had come back, but I'm not sure.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I saw where they said that one of the places in Jackson that does breast cancer has gotten some new medicine to where it will cut the amount of radiation with breast cancer. So that's a step forward.
Yes, that is.
Good
I
news.
hope someday they can come up with a complete cure for that, for any kind of cancer.
Yeah.
Because it's, it is.
Kill so many people. And I'm sure that back in the 1800s and early 1900s, people were dying of it, and they just didn't know what it was.
Right.
But boy. Well, Biden says it's Trump's fault. Imagine that. They can't seem to find 20 million doses of COVID. Where did it go?
I don't know if anybody has seen the video of this man trying to explain.
Oh, I bet that's something else.
Oh my goodness! I wish that we could pull it up. You could probably pull it up for tomorrow.
What was he trying to explain?
He was trying to explain when, like, millions of doses of the vaccine. We have like, I'm gonna just say 300 million doses of the vaccine, and that's enough to vaccinate 300 Americans. And he kept saying
300.
he needs to stay away from any numbers.
He can't do it.
He
can
can't. I mean, he just can't do it. I don't know. It's like it confuses the heck out of him. But yeah, it was like sitting there, and everybody that commented on the video was like, "Oh dear Lord!" Like, "Oh, this is our president." Oh my gosh, But
And of course, we've all seen this stuff floating around where he was saying Trump don't know what he's doing. Then he gets in office and goes, "There's nothing I can do. I don't know what to do."
right. Well, I mean,
Nobody knew what to do.
Well, everything they've ran on during the election and promised, they have totally just, went back on. They have not done it. Or, well, the awful things he said he was going to do, he's followed through with, But, I mean, he still lied to a lot of people to get their votes, I mean, it's obvious. And just like doing away with the pipeline stuff.
Right.
And those people supported him, during his election. And the fracking stuff, I mean, who do we really think he's not going to ban fracking? So.
And the unions that voted for him are now
Right.
going, hello,
Yeah.
Trump is not quite so bad.
He has I read the other day that they had put an immediate lawsuit on him when he banned the pipeline, for people.
Texas did.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be able to do all that on federal land.
Yeah, they've got
There's
contracts.
there's laws that say they can do that. So,
He's doing his
said that it
best
takes more than just the presidency to just say, no, you can't do it. There's
So
other.
keep your fingers crossed. Now, this is the young lady, and I have to admit, when I was looking for a picture of her. Nancy Sinatra is who I'm talking about. She had the big song, "These Boots Are Made for Walking." Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Well, this is what she's doing. She's very verbal. She says that she'll never forgive voters that voted for President Trump and managed to let him win. She just can't stand him. I mean, does her opinion even matter is what we go to.
Right.
Now, I have to admit, when I Googled a picture of her, the first thing that popped up, and I only looked with one eye, I closed my eyes when it pulled up, but it pulled up her Playboy pictures. I didn't know she'd done that, but I looked with one eye, and I tried to get rid of the screen real quick.
Okay.
But she's changed from the way she used to look.
Yeah. But I have respect for people who grow older gracefully.
Yeah. But it's
and
her
not do all
thoughts.
that stuff, to their
How
faces.
could you really never forgive people that voted for Trump? That doesn't make sense to me.
What I want to know is all these people who say all this kind of stuff, why? Like, why are you so against people that voted for Trump? Why do you not like Trump? Why? Other than his comments and his like...
Rhetoric, is that the
Right.
word?
Yeah.
But, what have you done for America?
Yeah. Like I said the other day, they sign people up every day for the military if you want to go, be the change you want to see in the world. So put you on a uniform and go serve.
Linda House said, how do you know when a politician is lying? Moving his lips.
The lips are moving. Mm.
Pretty good point on that. Let's see here. 70s gas. Yeah, we were running out of gas. Y'all remember all that stuff? Gas lines. We don't need any of that.
they want to put us in electric cars. I saw where he signed an executive order that all federal vehicles have got to be electric.
By when?
I don't know, but how fast you gonna get after somebody in an electric
Bank
car?
robbers are going to really love this because them cars are going to quit in top speed
Like
of 55.
federal law enforcement. How you gonna? I just can't see that.
Ooh, we are being so
crazy.
politically correct. We're putting our nation out of business.
Yep.
That's my thoughts on that. But Nancy Sinatra may not like you if you voted for Trump. I just wanted to share that. But she was a beautiful woman in her day.
Yeah.
Sad here as we look at things that are going on across. I remember seeing the headline of this where a mother killed her 5 children. And after you dig into this story, they dug into her Facebook and all her Twitter accounts. She was practicing witchcraft. She was only 25 years old and killed all of her children, 5 children.
That's crazy.
Horrible.
Awful.
So just never know who's living next door to you, what
Right.
kind of troubles they have. If you see something that doesn't look right, ask somebody.
Yes.
Say, hey, how's your friend doing? Check on
And
him.
then some people, like we talked about a while ago, look perfectly normal,
Yeah.
and you would never think. Yeah. Okay.
So says the woman who let a deer go by because she didn't think it was big enough this weekend. Almost the last day, and you let it walk?
It was a 6 point,
What's
but
that
it
got to
didn't
do
have
with-
a pretty rack, and it wasn't real big. Like
Well,
it
ugly
did not.
women need to be dated too.
Well, I didn't see the point. Like if I'm gonna kill something, I want it to be of substance.
You
know,
wanted
it
something to
just
mount,
didn't-
is
I
what
just
you're
figured-
trying to tell me.
Yeah, I would like. Why? We're not in like desperate need.
You were wanting bragging rights, is what you were after.
Yeah, we will still eat the meat,
know,
of anything. But I just don't see. I've killed 2 6 points, and it wasn't anything that I was like, oh my gosh, look at this.
We should have gone live with her straight to the deer
But
deer
I
stand.
think that takes patience, to be able to just let it walk.
I let a 6 walk it. I had 6 does, a spike, and a 6 point. But 6 point was just,
Yeah.
He was thinking he was a man to the women. He was showing them, look here at me. He was whooping up on the little old spike out there. But it's fun.
Yeah, to me it's fun just to watch them, just watch them walk around and stuff. And like we went yesterday and just pretty much sat and watched 8, mostly does, and then
Yeah.
there was a couple of spikes that come in the field, and then there was something that was bigger, but it got dark and we couldn't see, so we just left, But
Well, there you go.
anyway, I'm glad it's over for the year.
As we go to, this is good news here. They were hurt, but no one seriously injured. 20 firemen were injured when a fire broke out. 20 firemen, that's a lot of folks to be injured by a fire. So the good news out of that is that no one was lost their life in it, and they were all treated, and they're going to be okay. The New York City Fire Department, that's a demanding job. I would not want that.
It is. And they have to go through a lot of stuff, too, like in training.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not like firemen here that the tallest building is normally a 3-story building. You know, they got some serious stuff there.
Just thinking of 9/11.
Yeah.
All those firefighters that went up into that building not knowing, I mean.
That was it.
And it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I learned something on this. Now, I think everybody watched Friends at some point. It was a good comedy. It made you laugh. And I did not realize that Julia Roberts was on the TV show. Well, they did an interview in the last couple of weeks, and it turns out that she only agreed to be on the show because the guy Chandler, what's his real name? Matthew
Perry, yeah.
The only reason that she went on there was he asked her to come. She goes, well, if you'll write me a term paper, I'll do it. Well, he did write the term paper, and I guess that was a joke, and one thing led to another. Then they started dating for a while. Didn't know that either.
I didn't know that he dated Julia Roberts.
That was before he turned whatever happened to him. Drugs.
He definitely doesn't look the same, you know, at all.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ricki Lake, that talk show host? A bizarre story, and of course, there's more to it, I guess, as you get down to it. She's fought hair loss. She's self-confidence. She was losing some hair, and she shaved her head back in January, and she said that led her to find the perfect man because he wanted her and not anything else.
Okay.
So, congratulations to her.
Good for her.
You know, when I was trying to hook Candace up here to her husband, had I thought of it, I'd have got you to shave your head.
I don't think I'm thinking Kurt would not have thought that was sexy. Yeah.
But that's
I've talked about cutting my hair short, and he's like, no.
So that goes to that next question. What do most men like? Long hair or short hair?
I mean, when I was talking about cutting it short, like.
But you interview a lot of women that sit down in your chair. You cut hair. What do most of them say their husbands want?
A lot of them, most of them say that their husband likes their hair long, and that has always aggravated the fire out of me because I'm like, until like I mean.
So says the woman with long hair,
right? But now I probably will come in one day and I'm gonna have my hair cut about right here because I'm tired. I feel like I'm too old for long hair.
Then she'll be singing that D-I-V-O.
Well, I mean, I hope
men
not.
take it personal.
But
now.
yeah, but most women say, "Oh, he won't let me cut my hair."
There you go.
That drives me insane. He won't let me cut my hair. He likes it long. So I'm thinking, okay, so does he wear your hair? Does he wash your hair?
See, this is the problem. She's not realizing that her husband is the head of the household. Do y'all see this right here? She can't accept it. I bet you talk all the time.
No, we are equals in the household.
Lord.
We're equal.
I got one of them equals women's up in here with me.
No, but I mean, I would definitely not want to do something that would absolutely my husband would hate. You know, I wouldn't like to do that.
Like
but I'm not
hair.
saying that one day I won't cut it short and be like red. My hair.
But see, I take Candace. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
I do like red
if
hair.
you tell Candace not to do something, by George, she's going to do it or die.
Yeah, I will do it or bust.
So I'm going to tell him to tell you not to cut your hair.
I just don't like being told you can't do something
Imagine
because I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it to the.
I think everybody's shocked that you said that.
No, he never says you can't do anything. He's good. I mean, I'm serious. Like, but there are some men that will tell their wives, "No, you ain't doing that."
Oh, I've seen some major fights break out,
and the wives are just like, "Okay." Drives me insane.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is everything wrong with that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's give and take in every relationship.
No, that ain't give and take. That's give. That's give and take. He's giving it and she's taking it.
That's just respecting the fact that he's head of the house. Okay. And what he says goes.
Moving along to the next news story before that gets heated up in here.
A Jewish man, this is pretty neat. When he was fleeing the Nazis, a Jewish man, they hit him and he leaves his entire fortune. And apparently it was a good bit of money to a little town in France. So a good news story there.
That is good. That's a good deed.
Okay. You okay to move on to the next story?
I'm trying.
All right. Beyonce.
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't tell you anything that Beyonce sings whatsoever. I've only seen her on like Super Bowl.
If you like it, then you need to put a ring on it. You never heard that?
That's what I've heard that song. But it just repeats.
You ain't never seen these little kids on the videos where the parents get them. If you like it, then you need to put yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
that's what she sings.
Well, she had her first cousin. I think it's her first cousin or cousin was killed in his apartment. He's a 34 rapper, and I definitely wouldn't know who he is. Yeah. But celebrity of some sort, and it turns out the suspect that they're looking for is his girlfriend. The suspect, his girlfriend, who also was accused of killing her other boyfriend.
Oh, Lord.
Always investigate who you're dating to make sure that they've never killed anybody they dated.
Yeah, that would kind of be a turn off right there. Somebody's killed their ex. So chances are you next.
There you go, Miss Ryman over here. So let me ask this: what was see if this is like a test to Candace?
Oh Lord, how
what was your favorite Rod Stewart song of all time?
Why do you do this to me?
Because it's Rod Stewart. Everybody knows Rod Stewart.
Oh gosh, I can't even remember some of the names of the
songs.
Do you
think? Do you think I'm sexy? If you think I'm sexy.
Oh yeah, if you think. Yeah.
All right, Maggie May. I mean, who wouldn't like Maggie May?
Yeah, that's a good song.
Where he was telling her she was too old and he needed to get away from her. But anyway, he has settled a lawsuit. It's not going to court now. He reached a plea deal. Him and his son were at an event, and he punched a security guard in the face.
Oh, Lord.
I
would have thought Rod would be the punching type.
I didn't either, but apparently he said something to him that Rod did not agree with, and he just hauled off and popped him right between the eyes.
Yeah, he had a lot of controversies going on years ago.
He did.
I remember. Yeah, back when I was in high school, I think.
76, though. Can you believe Rod Stewart is 76 years old?
Is he still got that same? Is that a
that's
like a
newer.
recent picture?
Yeah.
Well, he looks the same, doesn't he?
Yeah, and his son is 40. But he has settled the case. It doesn't disclose how much money he had to pay, but I'm sure it was a good bit.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart. So anyway, I saw this and it grabbed my attention. They don't have a name, but they say they've tracked this back to the AIDS virus where it began, and it tracks all the way back to World War II, World War I. It was come from a soldier that was hunting chimps that he caught it somehow.
Okay. Was a starving World War I soldier who caught the virus in Cameroon while hunting chimps. I wonder if he got bit by one or...
Doesn't say.
It
could be. But that's what they're saying. It's a new book that's out that kind of goes deeper into the AIDS virus. Goodness. And, of course, they did find a vaccine for that eventually. That was a very serious one.
But if you go back and really look, they had the vaccine a year or so prior to ever putting it out there that they had it. And there was a lot of controversy over that because there was a lot of people who had died within that year. So...
Okay, I forgot this song, Rod Stewart. Somebody just put
what?
That was a big.
Oh yeah,
Hot Legs, Kellyanne Burnham. That was a big song by Rod.
That was. I'm not gonna sing that either.
Well, but you can sing.
I'll let.
I mumble over here. I cannot sing. I'm even scared to sing by myself. It's so bad.
I'll sing by myself now.
Linda Jane said her husband Jerry said she could do what she wanted to with her hair.
Good. That's a good thing.
She's still mad. Do y'all hear it in her voice? She is mad.
That just drives me insane.
I can tell. She got her old dandruff stirred up over there.
Well, I mean, because men don't have to deal with this long mop. It takes you 30 minutes to shampoo hair, and it's just an aggravation.
It's like y'all are super hunters. You track down with your little stick there and catch him. You get your hair all fixed up. Then after you get him, then I ain't got to fix it no more.
No, but look, okay, women. How many of y'all's husbands had a full head of hair when you married him?
Oh, now she's gone and said that.
Okay, really? What if we said, I like you with. I want you to wear a wig because I'll buy you a toupee.
Well, I got that issue. Mine started coming out.
Would you wear it?
A toupee? No. That's
okay.
That's why I wear.
And what if they said you gonna wear it?
Because I look hotter in a cowboy hat. Angie told me so.
That's never bothered me, but I'm just saying, what if, not everybody is as slim as they used to be, like even me in a year's time.
I don't know if y'all can see this. She's holding back. I can see the water in her eyes. She wants to go She wants to go on me.
Look, we were just talking about yesterday how much weight we've gained just in the last year. I've gained some weight.
Where is it? Right there is what caused it.
Look, I'm telling you, I guess you just get comfortable and you just, of course we were stuck at home for how long?
That's really what
you're still kind of
it.
stuck at home. Because if you don't really feel like going out and doing,
No, but the pandemic has put weight on everybody.
It really, it has. I think I just get a snack because I'm just frustrated.
Food is good. Speaking
Yeah,
of food, that kind of leads us to our next story here. And you look at this, and I've never understood this across the nation right now. Somebody that drives a rig, an 18-wheeler, cannot go through a drive-through. And so many restaurants, you can't go in and eat now.
Yeah.
Well, this happened to a family. They saw a guy and his son walked up to a McDonald's window, and they wouldn't serve him because he wasn't in a vehicle. So they saw it and felt sorry for him and gave the little boy in the car gave his meal to the other little boy, which was a great thing.
Well, I mean, if you can't go in, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know the answer to that. But you think of that because like if you've got a big trailer behind your vehicle, you can't get through one.
Right. We were in Hattiesburg, I think, and there was a trucker. It was driving a big, huge, like I think it was a UPS truck or something. And he parked in the parking lot over and walked to the window. They didn't have a problem with serving him. It was at a Chick-fil-A, I think. But anyway, all this drive-through stuff, though, I mean, you kind of...
Well, you were telling me you went through, was it Kentucky Fried?
Yes,
that does
Kentucky
it
Fried Chicken was the oddest thing that I've, and I got aggravated because I didn't know what was going on. But I had ordered my food and I pulled on around and there was a car sitting to where they had not moved on up to the window to pay. I'm talking about like 20 feet away maybe from the window up and just sitting there. So I didn't know if they broke down or if they were looking at their phone and didn't realize whoever was in front of them had went on,
Right.
So I sit there for just a few minutes, I'm like, what in the world? And it was already the end of the day and I was already tired. So I was ready to get my food and go home. So I just sat there for a few minutes and then I blew the horn, just tapped the horn like, can you go on up? And they just sat there and I thought, this is ridiculous. So I just go on around and go on up to the window and they're waving their hands like, no, and I'm like, what? And so they holler out the window, you got to go back. You got to go back in line. And I said, why? And I said, what is this person doing? You got to wait your turn. So when I got it, I aggravated.
I tell. She's reliving the moment now.
I was aggravated, so I'll whip on back and get in line. And to find out later on when I went again, when I got up there, I told them, I said, they said, you have to wait your turn because of COVID, I guess. I don't know. But I found out later on, another time that I went, I said, what is the deal with waiting, making people wait? They said, we have to, set a timer or something, or we have to wait so many minutes between people coming through the drive-thru. It's like policy or something. So
you have to wait longer if you go through a Kentucky Fried
I
line.
guess so. I don't know what it's, I guess it's taking precaution or whatever, but I don't know. It's just odd to me. Because, I could understand if you were cleaning or and maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. It was odd though, but yeah, you have to wait. You have to wait so many minutes before you can pull up. So
there you go. Like I went through Subway for my mom yesterday. It was pretty simple. Just you were gone.
Oh yeah,
quick.
Yeah.
And boy, y'all want to talk about, and it is the best, Chick-fil-A. There ain't nobody that can beat a drive-through that even compares to that.
Right. I swear, somebody one time said the military must train them.
Somebody trained them.
But yeah, Chick-fil-A is real good about getting you on through quick and accurate. Rarely have I ever had a mess up.
No, I have never had one.
So they're a team for sure.
Over the weekend, there was a death of a celebrity, and you remember the Animals, House of the Rising Sun? Mm-hmm. The guitarist that played that riff on, he passed away at the age of 77 over the weekend. So condolences to his family, but that was a huge song too.
Yeah.
Not my forte, but I know it was huge. A lot of people love that. So if you're into that, you probably already knew that. I'm just passing it along as we get the news stories out. Let's see here. The Farm Supply, they're going to be wide open today, taking care of business there. They've been doing it since 1932. And, of course, we're only days now away from getting your fish. This is coming up on Friday. If you need to stock your pond for the summer, you can go ahead and get your order in, and they'll get this taken care of. Kicks off at 9 o'clock on Friday morning. They'll be there till 9:45.
Yeah, and they have free delivery for orders up to 1,200 or of 1,200 fish, I guess, or more. So
check it out.
It to you.
You can also still get a few of the Carhartts left there for $20. They're on sale. Plenty of T-shirts to choose from. And as I mentioned, also don't forget they've got the steps. If you need a new set of steps, and they're really working on getting the garden center ready. As spring comes, everybody's going to be wanting mulch, flowers. They're working hard right now, getting everything set up to get that ready for you.
I'm ready. I'm ready to have something pretty to look at outside.
Yeah. As we go through this, boot dryers still available there at the co-op, along with plenty of disinfectant. As you're talking about cleaning, whether it's a drive-through or your home or your doorknob.
Right. These little wipes are the ticket in the car. So
Lifesavers is what you call it. Propane bottles, which are hard to find these days, along with plenty of boots to keep your feet dry. We got rain moving back into the forecast on Friday, and if you're going to have to be outside, you might want some of those. As we go through this, of course, plenty of heaters still available for those outdoor events that you have to travel to between now and probably April.
right.
Deer cameras that are also, you can use these for security cameras. And, of course, they'll come to your phone, shoot the picture to you. If you're away from work or somebody pulls up in your driveway, it'll shoot you a picture of the car and the tag. You do it however you want to, but they're great. Of course, all the seed, feed, anything that you might need there at the co-op. And, of course, taking care of that horse and cattle feed with guns, scopes, and ammo. It's all at the farm supply.
Let me also say,
What you got to say?
are we still on?
Yeah, we're still
Okay.
on.
Okay. Let me also say the cameras are a really good thing when you get in your house rolled.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It'll show you just who it is.
Do you speak from experience?
Huh, me?
Yeah.
Let me just say we have this large thicket of pine trees that every year get rolled, usually. They didn't this year, thank goodness. But it was the worst thing, and I always wondered who it was. But they were down by the end of the driveway, so we never knew, who it was, because they didn't have to come up to the house. They would just always roll those pine trees at the end of the driveway, and it'd just be flowing in the wind, going in the pond, So, yeah.
So there was people still talking about the hair, and Carolyn Knight wanted to know if you'd layer her hair. She wanted to get it really short.
I sure will. I will.
Go, Carolyn.
Just give me a call. I'm at Walla Salon. So.
Yeah. The hair, and correct me if I'm wrong on men. They say it comes from the mother's father, right?
That's what I've always heard, the mother's side of the family, and I don't know about the mother's father, but I don't know how accurate that is, because I've seen people that the mother's side of the family has headfuls of hair, and they are bald, and so it is genetic, I do think, but
It was on both sides of my family.
right. So you never know. I mean.
Yeah, and Dylan Ray come back, and he'd started losing a little bit, and he shaved his head, and I was like, "Who are you? I don't know you, son." I was not expecting that when he walked through the door. It was like, whoa. But anyway, we want to say thank you for coming by and spending a few minutes with us this morning. We do appreciate that. All the comments. If you wouldn't mind, each day, share this with someone. Share it on your page, and you can go up and invite your friends. A little click there and invite all your friends on the list to join us, so they'll be up to date with what's going on.
Yeah, we do. We always love when y'all like and share, and it's just gradually building. I mean, there's so many people watching, so we appreciate all of y'all.
Have we forgotten to tell anything?
I don't think so, but do you want to do another reminder of who won the Battle of the Bucks, just to be on the safe side?
What was his name?
I just stuck it back over here. Let's see. Daniel Calvert.
That's our winner.
Battle of the Bucks.
$100 richer now, and don't forget you've got till high noon to get your deer scored today to Jay's Taxidermy Equipment. If you need that number, I'll post it. If not, you can look him up on Facebook yourself. Find out how to get there.
Yes.
All right, that's it, and we do appreciate you dropping by, and we'll end it with old Chuck here telling you a little bit about some gas and stuff.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by